Jason and little Hypnobub Archer. Say hello.
So we always wanted to do the natural birth and we're never really interested in anything else. And then a work friend told us about hypnobirthing and it was absolutely everything we wanted to do. So that's when we met Melissa. And we did our hypnobirthing course. Sat through hours and hours of listening to affirmations, which would definitely have to be probably one of the most kind of vital parts. Yeah,
especially
if
in yourself, you might question whether or not you can do it. I think especially for Ella, we went through that leading up to the birth, and I think the affirmations were the thing that made the difference.
Really helped change my mindset. So if there's anyone out there, I'm sure there are a few of you who are a little bit still nervous. That affirmations, I can't kind of speak more highly of them, but okay, on to our special day. We love telling this story. We had planned a water birth at the Royal Brisbane Women's Hospital in the birth centre. Unfortunately, we didn't quite make it to the hospital. I started feeling my surges around about 4 or 5ish in the morning on a Monday morning. Let's set the scene first. I think it was about 3 days prior. I said, I'm ready. If this thing comes now, I'm happy for it. I wasn't wishing my pregnancy away. I was just saying, now I'm ready.
I said, I've got to cut some loose ends to tie up at work. Can you give me a week?
And I'm like, yep, no worries. So that conversation happened on the Friday.
Yeah.
Monday morning, I went into labour.
Yeah.
Jace headed off to work and called him home a couple hours later.
Yeah. Ella was still cleaning the house.
Still packing my hospital bag, which was my job for the day. We got in touch with our midwife at about 11 a.m. I was really in myself feeling like things were moving along really quickly, but I guess like every first-time mum, you don't want to be that one that rocks up to hospital and gets told to go home because nothing's happening. So in the back of my head, I was thinking, yeah, this is happening, but then I was kind of really skeptical because I had nothing to compare it to. It was my first child. Got on the blower to the midwife, and we were both pretty chill, pretty calm. She told us just to hang out at home for another couple hours and see how we went.
I think that phone call at 11 o'clock, I think she said about 4 hours at least until we start heading into the hospital. So she said it's going to be, a longish day. So we're like, all right, fair enough. We're, we might be overreacting a little bit. We'll just chill out. So we did. I think the next phone call was placed at maybe 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I said that your surges were getting were quite close together. She said, no, it seems like, it's all right, it's fine. You guys just need to hang out, chill a while. At 2:30.
It was, I swear, I thought it was 1:30, but my mind was kind of all over the place that day. But it was about 2:30. I was on the bed. You know how you see in the movies where it's like this gush of water when your membranes release? That actually happened to me. There was an obvious pop, and that was when my bearing down started. Are you all first-time mums? Yeah, no? So do you know the bearing down?
I just had a little tiny amount,
Yeah, but you do know it. You'll definitely feel it.
Change,
Yeah. So that happened, and then it was theatrical. There was a pop, and then there was like this gush. And I think
I called the midwife at that point. I said, Ella's waters, her membranes have released. That's what I said, actually. And
Good hypnobirthing, Jade. Hey, he's got the language.
She said, oh, okay. Well, I suppose you're progressing, a bit quicker than I thought. Just casually make your way to the car and, pack the car up and then head down when you're ready. Got off the phone to her, said that to Ella. Ella's like, we're not going anywhere. She said, I'm pretty sure he's coming now. I'm like, okay. She's like, can you just have a look?
I was like, sorry, but you're going to have to assess the situation.
And sure enough, there was a head. And then, so I picked up the phone to try to call the ambulance. But by the time we went through all that stuff on the phone, what's your address and all that sort of stuff, he was there. So didn't really even get to speak to anybody. So it was just amazing. Like, you know, Ella was fantastic actually. She was so calm through the whole thing, except for one point, which retrospectively was transition, where she freaked. But
don't want to do this anymore. Don't even want the kid.
so I pretty much I yelled.
I remember,
stop.
you like held me by the shoulders and you're just like, stop.
And then, that's right, you jumped out of bed, and then I got you to sit back down.
Yeah, so Jace called the midwife at 2:50 p.m. And he was born at 2:57 p.m.
Yeah.
So we definitely weren't making it to the hospital. I'm really glad we didn't jump into the car because I think that would have been a whole lot worse than just the destroyed mattress.
Yeah. Well, it was like, we got a quarter of an hour, I think, about 15 minutes, just the three of us, which was just unreal.
Perfect.
Amazing. Yeah.
And he was silent when he came out. We weren't worried at all. We could see that he was breathing. He was like looking around and everything, but he did not make a peep at all. He was just absolutely silent. And the only time he started making any noise was as soon as the paramedics touched him, because he did not want to be with them. He wanted to be with me. Who can blame him? But yeah, so the ambulance arrived probably about 15 minutes after he was born, which worked in our advantage because we wanted to do the delayed cord clamping. So everything had finished pulsating by that stage, and there he was, amazingly.
And there was a bit of
delivered by this one.
That's right. There was a bit of a disagreement between me and the ambulance guy, so that's where partners are really are awesome in this situation, because they get to advocate for their missus when they're obviously quite tired and because they wanted to cut the cord immediately, and I said no, that's we want to delay the cord clamping. He said, this is how we do it. I said no, this is how we want to do it, and you need to unfortunately really stick up for yourself sometimes. Yeah.
And if there are any of the fathers out there who think that you don't have a role to play in this, you couldn't be further from the truth, because, like, honestly, Jason, if he wasn't there, it definitely wouldn't have been the experience that it was. And I credit a little bit to Melissa, I suppose, a little bit to me, but definitely, he played a huge role. So
yeah, I did most of it.
But and a lot of people ask us as well. One of the first questions we get when we tell people how it happened, weren't you scared? Weren't you terrified? But honestly, we weren't. And I think that because we were so positive throughout the whole lead up, and then during and after, we didn't allow ourselves to think any negative thoughts, and therefore nothing went wrong. And when he came out, when we got to the hospital, the midwife told us that his umbilical cord was actually longer than average. So there's another thing there. We were lucky that he didn't come out with anything wrapped around his neck, but I 100% believe that it has a lot to do with just your mindset.
Yeah. And knowing the process, which Melissa explains really well, and we knew what to expect, and we were calm through the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's easy. It is easy peasy.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, I can also 100% tell everyone that I did not push once. I did not have to. It all just happened naturally. So, and there were a couple times where in my head I was thinking, this is coming, but I was a first time mum. I had nothing to compare it to. So the logic in me thought, no, it's not happening. So the best advice I can give on the day is just follow your instincts, because your body knows exactly what you're doing. So, and enjoy. You've got some very, very exciting times ahead of you. All of you.
Thank you. And does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions at all that they'd like to ask?
I got one.
Yeah.
Sorry, introduce yourself first. Michael, isn't it?
Yeah. Does it feel like doing a big poo?
It does, actually. There was, after my membranes released, I actually ran to the toilet because I thought I had to do a poo. And I'm sure Melissa has already said that that's what it feels like.
I do make a few references of that in class, just a few.
And that's when the poo breathing comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yep.
It's changed my life.
What was your favourite affirmation?
I know that it was your favourite as well. The
Every
surge
surge
brings my baby closer to me. I remember
yes.
on the day, every time I had a surge, I was thinking, because I was telling myself right from the start that there are going to be X amount of surges. I don't know what X is, but there is a set amount before my baby comes, and every time I had one, I was just in my head, I'm like, oh, that's one less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Every time I think it looked like Ella was losing focus, that's what I'd repeat to her. Maybe because that's the only one I remember. But you know, it's really important that you know all the different avenues that you could take, because you don't actually
Don't use them all.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Melissa last time, thinking, oh, can't we go into it with a plan? But it doesn't actually turn out that way. And I think you just need to be able to pull whatever out of the hat you need to at the time. Yeah. So, but affirmations were, I think, probably the most important for us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So tell us what are Hypnobubs like? What sort of temperament do Hypnobubs have?
He's so chilled out, like
Super happy.
yeah, happy all the time. Obviously, like when they're really, really new, that everything's really kind of confusing and there's a lot of crying, but he's just generally really happy. He'll go to anyone as well. He's got no problem being held by like complete strangers. Which is good because they leave him with strangers all the time.
And the music that is provided works really well.
Yeah,
calming,
now.
because he remembers it for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely does. That's pretty chill.
Yeah, he's just happy. Got no reason not to be.
That's right. Happy little Hypnobub.
Yeah. Definitely. And so tell your friends. That's what I do every time I see someone who's pregnant, even if it's a stranger in the street. I don't really, but I probably will start going around and handing out like hypnobirthing books. So yeah, that was our story. Don't think that because this is how ours went, that's how yours is going to go. Because like as Jason said, you can have a plan, but babies do what they want to do. So just go with it. Let what happens, and just don't fight anything, I guess. Just, and enjoy it. Like, this could be the only time you go through this, and it should be like one of the most amazing experiences of your life. Because if you think about it, it's the most beautiful thing that you can ever really be a part of.
Yeah.